Welcome to New Life Live, the premier place to receive free advice from Christian psychologists and counselors for the mental, emotional, relational, and spiritual challenges you face. Since 1988, we've offered compassionate responses that combine God's truth with proven psychological principles to guide you toward healing. Our phone lines are open. Call us now at 1-800-229-3000.
Well, here we are on this middle of the week, Wednesday, June 25th, almost the middle of the year. Can you believe that? I'm Brian Perez, host of New Life Live, and I'm so glad you're here. We'll be taking your calls for the next 2 hours at 1-800-229-3000. Licensed marriage and family therapist Dr. Jacqui Mack-Harris will be here both hours. Clinical psychologist Dr. Alice Benton will be here this hour. Then licensed professional clinical counselor and president of New Life Ministries, Becky Brown, will join Jacqui and me next hour. What's that troubling thing you'd like to get resolved once and for all? We can help you at least get started on the path to healing and recovery, whether it's an eating disorder, trust issues, panic or anxiety, feelings of despair, PTSD, whatever it is. We're here to help. And we've got prayer warriors who are listening and watching right now on Facebook and YouTube, people who will immediately start entreating the throne room of God on your behalf. So give us a call at 1-800-229-3000. Dr. Jacqui, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Brian?
Doing well, thank you. And Dr. Alice, what's going on?
Oh, having a splendid morning.
Splendid.
Mm-hmm.
She has such great adjectives. She's or is that an adverb?
Adjective.
Adjective,
Yeah.
yes. Okay, so what's on your mind today?
Delegating.
Delegating, okay.
I was thinking that parents who take on all or most of the family work for themselves, they're like people who are hoarding all the vegetables and not letting the rest of the family eat their broccoli, eat their kale. Now, it looks very kind on the surface, and everybody enjoys having the vegetables taken off of their plate, but it does harm in the long run. God has been working with me on this in particular because I'm one of those kind of people too. So Moses gives a famous example of being advised to delegate as he's starting to lead the Israelites. He's called out by his father-in-law who says, you are doing too much and you're going to get burnt out and it's not good for you and it's not good for the people. So you better find some trustworthy people to delegate to. And the key in that is that it's good to delegate. It's good for the people that are picking up some of the load for you. And I think those of us who are workaholics, people pleasers, avoiders, we think we're doing everyone a favor by taking on all the work. It's a temporary favor, but it's a long-term disservice for us to do that. So a couple of tips to help me and the rest of you who struggle with this as well. One, we've got to identify what is my best work that I'm supposed to do, the talents, the gifts that God has called me in particular to do. I should stick with that. That's my load for me to carry. Then we need to identify trustworthy people to help us. That's tough because if you've been hurt by people, you're going to struggle to trust other people. We have to make time to train them well. And if you're impatient, that's really difficult to do. Then we have to trust. And lastly, we have to verify. It's something that we have to keep checking up on so that the work still gets done. Otherwise, if we see that, well, you're not doing it as well as I would or as fast as I would, I'm just going to take that on back. We continue with that workaholic frame of mind. And so I'm curious about your opinion, and if you see workaholics struggle with this too, to value delegating.
Absolutely. And workaholics tend to not want to ask for help. And so it's easy to just do it yourself. I was just talking to someone about this yesterday. We feel all overwhelmed over all the burdens we carry and the chores around the house, and then we are unwilling to ask for some help to get it done. So I agree with you. I think that is just excellent. All those steps of how to know what should I hold on to and what should I delegate to someone else. So let them get their veggies too.
Yes. I like that. Now, I think the hard part is, like you said, finding those people, because there's people in your life who you can trust with your wallet, but you trust them with, carrying
dinner.
On something. Yeah, making dinner or whatever it is. It's just like, not so much. I'll do it.
Let everybody be in their right skill set.
Yeah. Good point. Okay, here we are for the next 2 hours. Grab an open line. 1-800-229-3000 is the number to talk to Dr. Alice Benton and Dr. Jacqui Mack-Harris. We'll be waiting to talk to you here on New Life Live.
I was stuck. I was so stuck. 27 years married. My husband addicted to pornography for the majority of our marriage. I was very isolated and didn't really know which way to turn.
If you've been affected by betrayal, an emotional or physical affair, or pornography, Restore Intensive will equip you with support and tools to help you through.
When two people want to do their part, we can be restored. But if they don't, we can still be restored. We are not stuck because someone else made a decision. That God lets us weigh in on how we want to walk out our lives. Our wellness does not hinge on another person's decision.
The Restore Intensive is coming to Washington, D.C. November 7th to the 9th. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the discount code NLL to save $50.
You guys helped me figure out what was going on.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Guys, does your sexual integrity need some attention? We've got a self-assessment you can take on our website, newlife.com. Once you follow the quiz, we'll send you a free video series on sexual integrity and the addictive cycle. Find the quiz on our Every Man's Battle page, newlife.com/EMB. And if you're a woman struggling with sexual integrity, please call 1-800-NEW-LIFE so we can provide you with resources, or call into our radio program right now as we take your calls for the next 2 hours, 1-800-229-3000. Let's go to the phones now. We've got, we're going to start with James in Pittsburgh, who's listening to us on newlife.com. Hi there, James. Welcome to New Life Live.
Hello, sir.
Hello. How can we help you today?
Well, like I said, I'm handicapped. I'm recovering, and it's hard for me to get read the Bible because it's really not in the large print. Is there a recovery Bible or something? Also,
So, James, it sounds like you're saying you want to read the Bible, but it's hard for you because you have some disability, and so the print isn't large enough, and you'd like the new Life Recovery Bible in larger print. We don't have it in larger print, but we may be able to recommend an audio version. And there are other apps that you can use that have audio versions that will read the Bible to you. And so for those of you who maybe struggle with vision impairment or low vision, that's a way to go. Find a Bible app or one of the Bibles online that will read it to you. My favorite Bible to listen to is the Bible Experience. It's in the New International Version, and it's performed by actors from pop culture that we're very used to, and it's entertaining. It's it's a graphic audio, so you hear the animals in the background, you hear the thunder and the lightning and the water and you hear all the sounds, and so it really kind of puts you into that place in history. So if Moses is on the mountain, you kind of feel like you're there too. And so I highly recommend the Bible Experience is what it's called, and you can find it on YouTube. And so James, check it out on YouTube.
I like the James Earl Jones version of the Bible. It's like Darth Vader redeemed himself, and he was reading God's Word. I thought that was great.
Yeah, in the Bible Experience, there's all the voices: Lou Gossett Jr., Kirk Franklin, like you name the actor, Cicely Tyson, you name them. If they are a black actor, they are in that Bible Experience. And so I would definitely check it out. It's a lot of fun to listen to, and I've listened through the Bible several times with that.
Yeah.
Well, how about the recovery version?
That one isn't there, but you want to be able to listen to the Bible, and so the best thing you can do is take what is available, and maybe it's a recommendation or a suggestion. I don't know if the Life Recovery Bible is on audio, but maybe that's a resource we can put out there for the president and see what they can do with.
And if I was just going to say really quick, at newlife.com, there's several resources as well that you can listen and, take that in too. But what were you going to say, Alice?
James, do you have children?
I need. Like I said, I can read. I need the large print though.
Yes.
And there is a recovery Bible,
There is.
You really want that version. We're gonna see, looking into our resources, what we have available that we might be able to share with you. James, I am curious though, if you have children.
No, I don't. I do not, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Were you ever read to when you were a child?
No, not really.
Mm-hmm.
I came from kind of a dysfunctional family.
So you have not gotten to experience the joy of reading to and being read to. We were just talking about delegating, and God means the body of Christ to be the kind of body that works together to meet each other's needs, especially in areas that were limited, disabled, impaired. And so I see this as an opportunity not only to check out these great resources that Jacqui is mentioning, but also to ask someone to read to you. And you may have to find someone to ask to read to you. So if you are a little bit more isolated and maybe your disabilities lends to that, you might be missing out on community. And so we have groups like our New Life Recovery groups that we could look if we have one in your area and get you connected. It's also something good to ask of a church. Is there anyone in the church who would volunteer some time to read to me? Because by sharing burdens like this, I can't do it for myself. Who can help me? You invite other people to bless you, and that blesses them too.
What a great thing to delegate.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can send him the Life Recovery Bible, and James can ask someone from the church to come and read to him.
We do have it in large print.
Yes.
I'm looking at our list.
That is awesome.
The New Living Translation. So we'll get that to you, James. Thanks for calling in today here on New Life Live. But even when you have it in large print, there's nothing wrong with, like you guys were talking about, get someone to read it to you. That would be great. 1-800-229-3000 is our number. Here is Jessica calling in from Grand Prairie, Texas, listening on KWRD. Hi there, Jessica. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
How can we help you today?
So, a couple of months ago, I have twin 5-year-olds. They're 5.5 now. One of them saw a picture of their old nanny that we had like a year ago, and brought up that he had been molested. He had described some things that were inappropriate, and they're twins, and both of them. So I was shocked, and I take psychology, so I couldn't ask too many questions. But I did take him into forensic questioning, and the lady was arrested 2 days ago. My thing is even today, one of my 5-year-olds brought up more stuff that happened, which I'll report because they're in therapy every Tuesday now. So I'll report that to the therapist. But I'm really feeling like I'm a terrible mother. I was like really sick when we had this nanny. I couldn't wake up. I could only stay awake for 6 hours. Come to find out, I have narcolepsy, and so I've been medicated, so now I'm up regular hours. So I really needed help at that time, and she took advantage of that. So now I'm struggling. I was molested as a child, and my mom had, like, drug addicts, and everybody was around, and I feel like that's partly her fault, that she put me in a dangerous situation. I didn't do that to my kids. We have a very wholesome household, and we go to church, we do Bible studies and everything. So this lady just came in and kind of just uprooted a lot of things. So I just need to kind of know how to go forward. I read the book, The Body Keeps
The Body Keeps the Score.
Like
The Body Keeps the Score.
Yes, that's the one. Yeah, my therapist recommended it, which was like terrifying, but it is what it is. And so, I've read that. I'm also, of course, I'm almost towards my bachelor's degree in psychology of abnormal behavior. So I have some skill set, but kind of like everything goes out the window when it's so close to home.
Yeah.
So I just kind of need to know, like what is happening, Yeah.
You mentioned feeling like you're a terrible mom, and you described how you grew up and had a similar experience to what your children had, because your mom was maybe a bit neglectful, having people in and out because she was addicted, and you've created a completely different environment in your home, and yet this happened. And so one thing that jumped out at me about that is that as Christians, sometimes we will expect the best from people who aren't addicted and things like that. And so we just always have to know your story is testimony that we always have to be aware. It's we're all broken, whether we are addicted to things or not. And so always having our eyes open. But you were ill and unable to be awake the majority of the time. And you did the thing to not, you were trying to prevent your children from being neglected by having someone there to keep them safe. You made a conscious decision to protect them and provide for them. And that's a good mom. What this woman did, she stole from you all. She stole peace from you. You aren't a bad mom because someone else came in and took advantage of you all. You were a victim by this woman. And what makes you a good mom is loving your kids and making the report and hearing them and listening to them and believing them. And I'm so grateful that for whatever reason, you pulled those pictures out, or they saw those pictures, they came across those pictures, and at this young age, you're able to get them into work and start to deal with that molestation and get them some healing and have the woman be charged and prosecuted for it. And so often when young men or boys are assaulted by women, it goes unnoticed because people don't expect women. Mm-hmm. They expect that male would maybe do that, but rarely do people think a woman would do that. And I'm just so happy for your family that you got the information out and can get some help, and just grieve for you that this happened at all.
Are Jessica's kids going to have to testify about this? How does that work?
They may. It depends on the courts. Depends on the courts there. Depends on how the trial goes.
And if the lady takes like a deal or whatever, or if she's going to say, no, this never happened, then it'll go to court, which I don't mind. It might be hard for my kids. I testified. I think it's very healing, as crazy as that sounds. I don't mind if my kids do, because it's more than that's happened than the interview even know that the interview has reported. So I don't know if that sounds good or not, but I think that
sounds fine. And you have had that experience, and so I think you're speaking to it, and it doesn't sound crazy.
Jessica, it's totally understandable that you feel like a terrible mother, and I think it's a lie of the enemy. Jessica, I'm going to
adopt another child. I'm sorry, go ahead.
You were going to foster and adopt children as well?
Another child, yes, yeah.
And now you're not going to because of this?
I don't know. I don't know if I should or if I shouldn't. I mean, this happened to my own kids. Am I going to put another child in danger?
You don't trust. Jessica. You don't trust yourself anymore as a mother, and I'm going to speak to that. The enemy has taken a small truth that this horrible nightmare happened in your home, and he's telling you it's your fault. And understandably, you're believing it, but it is a lie from the enemy that it's your fault that this happened. And I believe your self-accusation is probably caught up in what your mother did, because she did some terrible things. She allowed them to happen. She left you vulnerable to drug addicts. So your mother had a much more active role in what happened to you. You haven't yet mentioned the father of your children, and I wonder what his position has been in all of this. And so I think that fighting back against the lie of the enemy has to do with recognizing it's a lie, figuring out what the truth is. Where did I go wrong? Was there something I should have seen that I missed? Maybe, maybe not. And then actively pursuing forgiveness of self, your husband and what he did and didn't do, and your parents and what they allowed to have happen. Because we tend to project onto ourselves experiences of what other people did to us. We take it in and we own it when it did not belong to us, and it does not belong to you. Lastly, I want you to know the difference between post-traumatic stress disorder and post-traumatic growth. Not everyone that goes through trauma experiences the disorder of trauma afterwards, and the key differences that lead to growth versus disorder have to do with one stable person in their lives who believes them, reacts, protects them, and changes the situation to make sure that they're safer in the future and gets them into good therapy. You are doing all of that, and it sounds like you did it very quickly. You have checked off pretty much every box I would think to ask of a parent in a situation like yours.
Yes.
Post-traumatic growth.
Jacqui, any final thoughts?
I just agree with everything Alice just said.
Yeah.
And I love that the thought, post-traumatic growth over guilt for something you did not do wrong.
Yeah.
Don't believe the lie of the enemy. You are a good mom.
Yeah. Forgiving what you'll never forget. Would that be a good resource from the newlife.com store? Okay. Jessica, thank you for calling in and sharing your story. And if you're watching or listening, keep Jessica and her kids in your prayers. This is something nobody should have to go through. And just pray for peace for Jessica, too, during this time. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more of your questions. What do you want to ask Doctors Alice Benton and Jacqui Mack-Harris? 1-800-229-3000 is the number, and we would love to hear from you today, Wednesday. God bless you guys. Thanks so much for listening and watching.
We've been married 33 years. We attended the Intimacy and Marriage Workshop. Even though we've read books or attended a few other marriage weekends, this was certainly different and a lot more intensive than initially that we thought.
When you come to Intimacy and Marriage, you're going to be immersed into a 3-day process.
Was not really sure exactly what to expect, but the idea of learning to really understand intimacy was intriguing. We had been in the same patterns of struggle over and over again.
If you've thought, I don't think we can ever change, we're just in this rut and we can't get out, the Intimacy and Marriage Workshop can help you get out of the rut.
The Intimacy and Marriage Weekend is July 25th to the 27th in Washington, D.C. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the discount code NLL to save $50. 1-800-639-5433.
I would highly recommend it.
For over 35 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addiction, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
I found a counselor through New Life Ministries, and it's just been outstanding.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first steps toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door for a better tomorrow.
To get someone that's competent, that's good at what they do, it's been like day and night compared to what I've had before.
Call 1-800-639-5433. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Couples, including newlyweds and engaged couples, have you registered yet to join us at our Intimacy and Marriage Weekend Intensive? If not, what is holding you back? Listen to what one attendee said. As someone who fought and had every excuse possible not to come, I ultimately did because I saw how important it was for my husband. This weekend was life-changing. I keep thanking my husband for insisting on us coming. Hopefully he didn't say, told you so. But anyway, I'm sure he learned not to do that at the Intimacy and Marriage Intensive. Anyway, she goes on to say, I can't put into words how amazing this event is for couples. The tools and eye-opening experiences I've had are life-changing. I will continue to use the tools I learned here to better our marriage. I told my husband every couple should go through this experience. You heard the lady. Sign up now at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE, and we're going to sweeten the pot a little bit. If you sign up by July 11th, you'll get early bird pricing. They say the early bird gets the worm. Ew, we don't have invertebrates here. We give discounts to our early birds. So call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go to newlife.com. Becky in Los Angeles, thanks for calling in to New Life Live. How can we help you today?
Hi, I was calling to hopefully get a little bit of advice about my daughter, who is an adult, but I use that term very loosely. She is, I believe, 24. She'll be turning 25 this year, but just a little bit of background on her. As a child, she broke down crying and having fits every single day. We ended up at 6 getting her diagnosed at Kaiser. They diagnosed her with ADHD, but as I continue to say, well, what are the tantrums about? I don't understand. The medicine wasn't really helping her. And then they mentioned that she may have oppositional defiance disorder, but they never really went through with that testing because they ended up changing insurance companies. So at 13, she was diagnosed with cancer, and she went through a year of 5 different chemos and radiation to the face because it was in her sinus cavity and going into the brain. And so all of that was done to her head while she's developing and going through the 13-year-old hormonal change. And so then from that, she had PTSD, and ultimately she went back to school and was bullied because she looked different. She looked like a boy, she didn't have the same hair, and she just continued to mentally get worse. Her biological father is bipolar. I have borderline personality disorder, CPTSD, although I would say I now have post-traumatic growth.
Good.
And then I also have ADHD, and then she has the ADHD. She was trying to kill herself so often at one point. She was just in and out of the hospitals. We had to kick her out because she kept threatening to kill herself and getting drunk and high every day. And we said, you can stay here if you're going to be wanting to get better. We want you to get better. But if this is what you want to do, you cannot do that here.
So what's your main question for us today, Becky? Only because we're coming up to the break.
Sorry, I know. Okay.
No.
So anyway,
it is a lot that you're going through, and we understand. But
so I just want to say she's been divorced, come back, that ruined, and I've gotten her help, I've gotten her neurofeedback, she's now got borderline. I've done everything I can to try and get her better, and she's at home, and she's finally not on trying to kill herself every day because the neurofeedback was very helpful. But she's not going to therapy anymore. She's just smoking all day. She started drinking again the day after she came back from volunteering at a foster kid camp for a week. And I just don't know what to do. Every time I try to set boundaries with her, she tries, and then it just goes right back. And we can't get her to stick with therapy.
This is so complicated. Your family has been through the ringer, really through hellish situations, and it continues. Are you currently in therapy?
Yes. I've done EDMR, neurofeedback. I've done the stellar ganglion block. I'm always in therapy. And I'm actually taking mental health crisis coach in counseling classes myself to try to help her and others who come to the church who can't find the help they need.
And is your daughter not receiving professional help right now for her mental health?
She is on meds from a psychiatrist, but she will not follow up with the therapist. She has a million reasons. She wants a Christian therapist. We can't afford a Christian therapist. The regular therapists don't care, and they switch out, and she tells us she will, but no, she just wants to get high.
Her barrier to treatment is that she wants a Christian therapist.
Yeah.
Okay.
We tried to get her a Christian therapist too through her Medi-Cal, but they were only the ones that are, under training of, a licensed therapist, and they all said that she's too complicated. They can't handle her.
Okay.
We don't want you to give up on that. Yeah. You may know we have a network of Christian counselors who are well equipped to deal with the complications of your situation and your life story. So we can look at our network, and you're in LA, aren't you? We've got plenty of good clinicians in the area. We may have a little bit more to say to you when we come back from the break, but we can help you overcome that obstacle, certainly.
Yeah, Becky, stay where you are. We'll come back to you in just a little bit here on New Life Live. We've got lots of calls on the board that we're going to get through, and we're going to be here for another hour after this hour. So plenty of time to talk to us today here on New Life Live. 1-800-229-3000 is the number to call. If you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook, thank you so much for watching. You can call in too and participate, ask your questions of Dr. Alice Benton and Dr. Jacqui Mack-Harris.
I went to Every Man's Battle in 2012. My sexual integrity was not what it should have been. I sought out affairs, whether physical or emotional. Until I came to Every Man's Battle, I didn't understand that would never fill that void.
Every day, men struggle with sexual integrity. Impure thoughts, strip clubs, affairs, pornography.
The shame and guilt was overwhelming.
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity and purity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle Intensive.
You will discover what the true root of your pain is, and you will discover how to overcome.
You don't have to struggle any longer. Get help in Dallas, Texas, July 18th through the 20th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to register or to find out more. 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Enter the code NLL for a discount.
Every Man's Battle saved my life.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL. Do you need help for life's hard situations?
My husband recently said he wanted a divorce.
I'm confused on what I should do.
I have an eating disorder.
New Life Live answers your questions on relationships, grief, addiction, trauma, anxiety, and much more, all from a biblical perspective with our panel of professional counselors and psychologists.
I learn a lot from your program.
You help so many people.
I appreciate your ministry.
Whether you listen or watch, there are so many ways to connect with us to ask our panel of counselors a question. Call us Monday through Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific at 1-800-229-3000 to ask your question on New Life Live. Or go to newlife.com/radio for other ways to get your question answered.
I'm trying to find help.
I just want to know how to set boundaries.
If it's a sin, what am I supposed to do?
Need a therapist or a coach, a resource, or an intensive? Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
So Becky in Los Angeles called in to 1-800-229-3000 to talk about her daughter, 24 years old, diagnosed with cancer at the age of 13. And Becky just wants to know, how do I help her grow up and continue, start thriving? And what would you guys offer?
Well, we were talking about our network of counselors, and I just wanted to add to it, Becky, that advocating and asking a clinician to lower their fee, describing your situation, that would touch the heart of many a clinician, and many in our network are willing to offer a sliding scale fee if need be. So it's a hard question, but don't hesitate to ask that of the people that we refer you to.
Yeah, I think that that's important for everyone to realize. Most of us have a sliding scale that we will provide if it's requested. I felt like there was something that got missed for this young lady in her younger years, maybe a sensory processing issue. I find often that when littles are tantruming, and not even just littles, I've worked with grown adults who had the same issue where they are aggressive and agitated easily, and we find that they're just very highly sensitive to their surroundings, and the world is extremely loud and it just agitates them, so they're overstimulated all the time. And that can sometimes look like oppositional defiant disorder because they're constantly wanting to fight because they're constantly on edge. And I just wonder if maybe that was a possibility for her when she was young, and now we've got this pattern of behavior. And also, you guys are in the Los Angeles area, and I think that I know some people that could help her. I also, as she was talking, was thinking IFS would be maybe the next type of therapy. I think there are lots of parts inside of her that are trying to protect something, and getting with a good IFS therapist could maybe help her unlock some things and get some peace and some freedom, because she came back from camp and started drinking and using again, and the thing that popped into my mind was, she was triggered at camp by all the kids, because it took her back to being a kid, and so she came back doing the same thing she used to do when she was, trying to regulate herself. So we're gonna get your information, Becky, and see if we can't connect you with a counselor in your area that can help her.
And what's IFS, really quick?
Internal family systems.
Okay.
So it's the idea, just like we have family systems that sometimes are disruptive and have dysfunction, the same is true for parts inside of us. And so kind of think about, like, God is 3 parts, right? He's got the Father, the Spirit, and Jesus. We're created in His image. We are more than just this one thing. That's all these thoughts that we have in our minds and different experiences that get locked away. And so internal family system figures out what's going on the inside, kind of labels them, and then starts to deal with all of those different parts.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, Becky, thank you for calling in today to New Life Live. And did you just hear that? It's that type of support and help that we offer to people, and it's all made possible through your generous support here at New Life Live. People call in, they connect to the hope they need, and for some people that hope comes from listening or calling into the radio program and podcast. Here's what one of our listeners said: I'm 31 years old and have been listening to New Life Live since I was a 21-year-old newlywed. The wisdom, love, compassion, and humanity expressed is nothing short of awesome. The Christian view does not hinder the counsel. By showing the love of Jesus Christ, it is wisdom amplified. It doesn't hurt that it's pretty humorous at times. I love New Life Live. You have saved my marriage, made me a better parent, and truly given me hope for tomorrow. If this broadcast is helping you too, would you please consider making a gift to this ministry? We've made it easy. You can call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE or text NLM to 28950 or visit newlife.com. Thank you for whatever you can do, and happy 10th anniversary, wedding anniversary to our listener, and also 10th, what would we call it, a New Life Live-iversary or something like that too. So thank you for sending in that note. Here is Marlene, who's also in Los Angeles listening on KKLA. Welcome to New Life Live, Marlene.
Good morning. Thank you for taking my call. Like so many people, I truly appreciate all of you and thank the good Lord for everything you do. I'm calling to get some recommendations or guidance for my daughter and I with my 12-year-old grandson. And recently, in the past maybe off and on year, he's become very moody, kind of withdrawn, lacks interest in things, and lately he gets fixated on certain things, and it just that just consumes him. And there's just several things we're just extremely concerned and would appreciate some help and recommendation, please.
Okay.
Marlene, do you know what happened in his life in the last year that might have unsettled things and maybe resulted in some of the change in behavior?
Not necessarily in the last year per se, but the family, their dad left the family, filed for divorce, and that I know hit him hard.
And how long ago was that?
In the last year, I believe 4 to 5 years ago, and his relationship with his dad has been very strained. He has a girlfriend, a live-in, which now my grandson doesn't care to go over there because of this other person. The girlfriend is always there. There's never time with just them, and that's really what he sincerely longs for and needs. But anyway, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Alice?
It's helpful to know that happened, and that's been tragic for the family. And the addition of the living girlfriend adds a new layer of being unsettled and not having the access he wants and needs to his father. And so the moodiness may be related to that. It might certainly be coming into puberty. The fixations you're talking about, I'm wondering if some of them are screen related. digital distraction is such a way for any of us, but children as well, to handle the distress we feel on the inside. If we can escape, and we can escape very easily through gaming, through social media, through what we watch, it's a way to cope. It doesn't work well in the long run, but it's very effective in the short term. What are one or two of the fixations you're most worried about?
And with regard to the digital distraction, that is something my daughter has tried this summer. She's home with them to limit that. And he gets, well, there's 4 of them. They all get upset at her because of it. But so regarding fixation, during the school year, there was a classmate that was, I guess they used the phrase, on the spectrum. And for whatever reason, always wanted to be around my grandson, and his behaviors and mannerisms really upset my grandson, and he felt he couldn't, be free to hang out with his buddies without this individual there. And I'm sure the other kid, it wasn't his fault, you know what I'm saying, but my grandson was just fixed every day, didn't want to go to school, coming home, it drove him just absolutely berserk. He couldn't seem to, because he felt stifled or frustrated. Another thing is, a while back, he almost choked. I guess he took too much food. He now is fixated on not wanting to eat because he's afraid he's going to choke. So he's not eating. He gets these little kind of idiosyncrasy, oddball things, and he can't seem to let it go. And even the other day, he referenced this kid and having dreaded going back to school because this person would be there.
Is he in therapy?
Yes, he is.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. I think many of these things are symptoms of the heartache of not having a stable family. And that's just, It's been a tragedy for all of them. I want to make what might sound like an odd recommendation. Because the digital coping might be a way he was handling the loss of his father and the girlfriend moving in, I'd be careful not to take it away too quickly without making sure there's enough replacement around it. Because if you take away one coping skill, even if it's an unhealthy coping or it's subpar, and it's not replaced with something better, and a child isn't taught what do you do then with all those emotions if I can't escape them anymore? We have to expect an escalation in negative behavior when we take away a coping skill like that. And so making sure that the therapist is aware and teaching the child and really the entire family, how do we cope with the loss of dad? How do we cope with the changes that mom is making in the family too? And so it needs a fill-in to help handle it, because screen use can become an addiction, and then there's withdrawal when it's taken away. And an addict who's in withdrawal is a very angry, mean, irritable person. We can get through that, and after really a good 7-day detox, the symptoms of screen addiction tend to diminish pretty quickly, but those 7 days can feel like a nightmare.
Do you talk about those things in your book?
Oh, we do, yes.
You do. Should we send a copy of this book to Marlene?
Understanding and Loving Your Child in a Screen-Saturated World. Steve Arterborn and I wrote that. It will be very helpful for your daughter.
Yep. It's also available for purchase on the newlife.com store. But Marlene, just for calling in today, we're going to get you a copy of that book. We are going to be here in the studio for the rest of this hour and next hour, so grab an open line while there's still time. 1-800-229-3000 is the number to call, and we cannot wait to talk to you, get you on the path to healing and recovery.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found Life Recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Club New Life changes lives.
You guys came along into my life in 2022. That was a really, really difficult year of my life.
You can help New Life Ministries provide Christ-centered hope and counseling resources to thousands of people by joining Club New Life today.
I began to really process a lot of things that I've needed to for a long time, and y'all were a very big part of that.
When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, you'll make a difference in the lives of individuals and families with godly counsel and connection to help.
I came out of it having never experienced anything like that, and y'all were there.
Join today and help continue the message of hope to a troubled world.
I knew I had to keep going, and I joined Club New Life, and y'all have been the resource that has now been a light for my wife and I.
Go to newlife.com/CNL, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places.
Keep doing what you do because it makes a difference.
newlife.com/CNL. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We are not going anywhere. Well, Dr. Alice is. She's got a previous engagement, but Becky Brown, the president of New Life Ministries, is going to be joining us in the next hour, and Jacqui Mack-Harris is going to stick around too. We would love to talk to you at 1-800-229-3000, get you on the path to healing, and, don't put it off. You've been dealing with this for a long time now. It is time to get out of your predicament. Give us a call at 1-800-229-3000. Let's go to Vero Beach. Here is Rebecca listening on Sirius XM, channel 131. Welcome, Rebecca, to New Life Live.
Hi, thank you for taking the call.
Yeah, how can we help you today?
Well, I was actually driving and heard the invitation to call in with a question. So thank you for providing this resource. It's the first time I've listened to your show. I was called. So I think it was divine providence that at just that very time I heard the invitation to call in with a question. I'm really struggling with something I need help with. I've been blessed to have a wonderful husband. We have a Christian marriage. We are on our 20th year of marriage. And unfortunately, there's still an issue, and it seems to lie with me. And I need help kind of, I guess, learning how to get rid of it. My husband has lovingly brought to my attention that I seem to have a calloused heart towards, I guess, really being able to help him feel loved, cherished, and appreciated and respected. And I don't realize that I have this callous per se. He believes it's from past hurts.
So give us
in childhood and growing up.
So Rebecca,
I'm sorry,
Rebecca. So you have this calloused heart. How are you wondering how to fix it?
Yes, ma'am. I guess because I don't even realize that it's there.
Because it might not be.
But obviously it's apparent.
Hold on for a second. So it might not be a calloused heart. That might be limiting you a bit. So when you say the phrase a calloused heart is trying to describe some action and behavior. What is the action and behavior that he is labeling a calloused heart? What is it that you do?
I guess occasionally comes out maybe a disrespectful action of some sort that I don't intend to be disrespectful, but it comes out that way.
What would the action be?
It could be, I guess what he tells me is that I haven't considered his heart in like what I'm saying, so it comes off very callous.
Okay, so let me give you an example. Because we're coming to the end, and I want to make sure that we get to answer this because I think that this is important. So it sounds like you and your husband could be having a conversation, and you tell him some things that are your ideas, but you haven't factored him in. But this is what you're thinking, and so it maybe just comes out as law. This is what it is. And he doesn't feel considered. Or he shares something and you say, no, it's not like that, and then you share your perspective. Does that resonate at all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So it may feel to him like you're not valuing his thoughts because your perspective is different than his. And one of the things in couples therapy that we work with people to realize is that perspective taking is necessary for healthy communication. And it doesn't mean that we're wrong. And so if the two of you are standing in a room facing each other and I ask you to describe that room, you would describe it differently because you're looking in different directions. You're in the same space, but you're looking in different directions. You have different vantage points. And so when he shares his perspective, his vantage point, rather than deny it because it's different than yours, and you may not even be denying it. It may just be your word choice. Because a lot of times my husband will say, oh, no. And then he tells me his thing. He's not saying I'm wrong. But no is just the instinct to say, because that's how we're socialized. So rather than do that, just mirror back what he says. He says, hey, I don't like it when the kitchen floor is gritty. We've got to stop letting them track sand through the house. And rather than say, oh, no, that was because, we had gone to the beach and I was just trying to clean everything. Rather than do that, just say, okay, I hear what you're saying. You don't want sand tracked through the kitchen. Okay. Thanks for letting me know, right? Rather than challenge it and try to defend yourself, because that's probably what's happening. You're explaining. We want to give an account for why we did or said what we did or said and explain things away. And so I think the book, How We Love, could be really helpful for teaching the two of you the comfort circle, which is an excellent way of communicating in which both parties get heard and we can get deeper as to what's underneath those emotions. And sometimes we are feeling things like, I believe he may be feeling some things that's triggered him to some other times where he's felt disrespected and not listened to, and like what he had to say wasn't valued, and that's coming up when you're in these conversations with him.
Alice.
Rebecca, my husband told me not too long ago, he said, you're not listening to me very well lately. And I thought, baloney, I'm a professional listener. I listen well all the time. But I know better than to say that. So I did what Jacqui is teaching you to do. I said, would you tell me more about that? You feel like I don't listen to you well. And he had some instances where, in fact, he was right and I was wrong. I had been distracted. So there was truth to it that I wasn't aware of. I had a blind spot. But there was also historical pain for him of having other people in his life drastically not listen well to him. That doesn't hold true for me. But sometimes I don't listen very well to him. And so by allowing that your husband's history could be exacerbating the feeling he has with you, and yours could too. But the point is to not be defensive and to listen in order to understand, or to have the priority of connecting versus correcting. And that makes all the difference. And the comfort circle that Jacqui's talking about is pretty miraculous. It gets you there real quick.
It is miraculous. And I've watched things be connected that none of us would have ever expected to have connected. And the change and the breakthrough is amazing. And then also intimacy in marriage is coming up. Mm-hmm. And there is a discount, an early bird discount, if you can get registered. And if it's cost prohibitive, we do have scholarships. And so I really encourage you to encourage your husband to be at the next intimacy in marriage. Do whatever you can do to be there.
And Rebecca, your humility is going to make all the difference. Mm-hmm. We usually have callers call in and say, this person is doing this and that. How can I change them? Rarely do we have people say, I guess I have a problem I didn't know of. How can I change that? Humility changes so much because it floods in grace into the home. Well done.
Yes.
What do you think of what you've heard, Rebecca?
Well, no, it's great. I think she totally read the situation without me even telling it. I do get very defensive because I hear the criticism and I'm not able to remove myself from the criticism. And I think that does have past history. And so it triggers to me the need to defend myself. And unfortunately, I don't do that in the most peaceable way. I do get defensive, and I think that sometimes can escalate to the disrespect that I think is coming across that I don't intend to.
Right. You know, it's not lost on me that of all the dozens, if not hundreds of radio stations on Sirius XM, you landed on Channel 131 today. You heard this advice. You got to call in. You asked your question of Alice and Jackie. We're going to send you a book. It's called How We Love. And yeah, we really encourage you and your husband to attend the Intimacy and Marriage Intensive. It is happening the weekend of July 25th in Washington, D.C. You can get all the details at newlife.com or call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We're going to stick around in the studio for another hour, and we would love to talk to you about whatever it is you're going through, family trauma, personal trauma, whether it's past or present. Give us a call. We'd love to chat at 1-800-229-3000. Thank you for listening today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for praying for us and for our listeners who call in, and thanks for financially supporting us too. God bless you guys.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.